Good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to spend a few minutes with myself and Courtney Eidel, who will be joining us in a couple of seconds. Um, I would just like to say an old quote I think I've said before to you, which is a quote from my favorite politician, Winston Churchill. He said, "When you're going through hell, keep going." So we have gone through hell and we've kept going. And I think that we're doing a terrific job. We finally, I think, have gotten through all of the worst of the situation of the pandemic since our first town hall meeting, which was held in March of 2020. Um, um, I'd like to say that the good news is we've really survived. All of the staff, all of you have done such a terrific job, and we're just so happy with everything that you've been able to pull off. But we're still being cautious. And frankly, from what we've read and what we can hear statistically, there has been a tick up relative to COVID infections. However, we should point out to you that although there's been a tick up in COVID infections, the numbers of hospitalizations have been dramatically reduced to almost nothing for our staff, and the number of deaths have been nil. However, just to exercise a total methodology of absolute prudence and of caution, abundant caution, as they've been saying, we've decided that this year we will not have one more year, sadly, the Christmas party or holiday party. And so we're not going to have a holiday party this year, but instead we're going to give out the same kinds of gifts that you had received last year from the Presence of Mind. I'm happy to tell you that there are going to be additional presents that you can look at, and you can always get the other thing you wanted. And so if you already got the air fryer, there might be something different that you would like. I also wanted to point out how happy I am with everything going on, and how there's been a lot of cooperative people who got their COVID vaccinations, and there are people that are still remaining reluctant. And so I'm trying to push forward because, as you know, in the country, there's a lot more things that go on relative to testing and proof of vaccination that we're going to need to deal with in order to continue. And we had remarks from the president of the United States, who even made overtures saying that organizations like ours, which receives almost all of their Medicaid money, would be in jeopardy of a potential defunding if the employees weren't vaccinated. Now, I'm perfectly willing to admit that this is your choice and not mine. But in order to entice you, I've already told you before that I was vaccinated. But in order to entice you, as I've said before, anybody who can prove that by November 30th of this year, that they've been vaccinated with their vaccination card, and they can upload it to the system by November 30th. And if they've been hired prior to October 1st, they'll be given a $500 gift. And that's a $500 gift right into their account. So it's not something where it's going to be anything except a $500 gift. So anyone who's gotten it already, you're going to be lucky to get this gift. And anyone who hasn't, I hope this encourages you to say, wow, I could use an extra $500 before the holidays to buy one of my loved ones a wonderful present. I also wanted to point out to you that we have 5,500 staff, but we still have a lot of people vacancies in the staff that we're trying to fill. So if you enjoy working in your job and you really like what you're doing and you think Community Options is a great place, as I do, then please, please, please chat up your friends, chat up your colleagues, chat up to somebody that you're going to church with or synagogue with or wherever you're going, and or at the supermarket or wherever, and say, I work at Community Options. You should work there too. It's a wonderful place. And if you do, you will, and we hire the person, you will get the referral bonus that Courtney will explain more in detail. this year, we're also going to be, I'm proud to tell you that our creative services department, in tandem with myself and everyone else, are going to be releasing the new annual report. And the annual report will be for 2021. And one of the things it's going to have in it is wonderful photographs that have been taken by our very professional photographer, Victoria Will, but it will also, besides the photographs and the explanation of community options, we will list all 1,025 people who have been working at community options for 5 years or more. And everyone who has gotten their name in there, as well as many others, will get a copy of this beautiful annual report for free that will be done before before the first week in October, and we'll be sending that out. And besides that, I also wanted to mention that we've had the anniversaries of the 5 years plus. We've also, today marks the anniversary of Jean, who is the administrative assistant in Burlington, who's been here for 6 years on today's date. And then Bernard Krakowski, who many of us know. Bernard is a person who we were able to take out of the Johnstone Training and Research Center. And he's worked a variety of places. And this year, he'll have worked 17 years as an employee through a contract with the state of New Jersey through Community Options. So he's celebrating his 17th year, and we're very excited about that. I also wanted to bring up the fact that many of you will be lucky enough to attend our conference this year, which will be held in Pittsburgh. It will be held between October 10th and October 13th. And during that time, we will have several celebrations. October 12th will mark the Gala, in which we're going to honor Megan Crowley. Megan Crowley is an individual who was able to combat the fact that she had significant disabilities. She happens to use a respirator. Her brother happens to work for us in the flower store, but Megan graduated from Notre Dame and finished her master's degree. And she's a person who happens to use a ventilator and happens to use a wheelchair. And she's a very involved person, and we're going to give her an award to thank her. The night before that will be the evening that we all arrive, and we're going to also recognize Mario Sands. Mario Sands has been with us since December of 2000. I think since 1997. So he's been with us for 24 years, and he's going to be on the conference as well. And so we're going to take a brief moment to recognize his tenure and all of the wonderful things that he's done. He's been a true centurion for people with disabilities, and certainly for community options. Finally, I just want to thank all of you for everything that you've been doing. You're brave. You've been dealing with all of these issues. And whenever I go around, today I'm in New Jersey, tomorrow I'll be in Arizona. I've been visiting all of you throughout the country. I've been to New Mexico and Texas, et cetera, and Utah, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you. But every time I am visiting the houses or the programs, I'm very humbled with how hard all of the staff work, how dedicated everyone is, and what a terrific job they do in making the lives of people with disabilities better than they were before. And we've gotten through most of this pandemic. We're going to hopefully go to much more live programming and less Zoom things and other, televised methodological approaches. And I think that'll be much better. So again, on behalf of the Board of Community Options and everybody that we support, thank you for your stewardship, your honor, your integrity, and your stalwart help and courage in promoting community options and the people with disabilities that we all love, care, and support. God bless, and I appreciate all of your help. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Courtney Eidel. I am the Chief HR Officer with Community Options. I've been with us 11 years and happily lead the HR team here. Since Robert mentioned about the COVID vaccinations and bonus already, I'm going to start with some COVID updates. We are continuing the program where employees who are supporting an individual who tests positive receives a 10% differential to their pay for 6 weeks. In addition, if they have acceptable attendance, they don't have call outs, they're not taking PTO, then they also get a $1,000 bonus. So executive directors are responsible for submitting timesheets to payroll, as well as the list of employees who are eligible for those COVID bonuses to their business partners for processing. In terms of PPE, as a reminder, all employees who are supporting individuals are required to wear masks, and this is regardless of whether or not you have been vaccinated. The daily screenings remain in effect for staff as well as the individuals, and staff should be completing the THERAP checklists online. We do have 2 states that are more strict these days with how we're handling COVID. They are New Mexico and New Jersey. For New Mexico, the Department of Health has now required that all employees in our industry have to either become vaccinated or they can apply for an exemption request. You can apply for an exemption if you have a religious restriction or if you can provide medical documentation from your healthcare provider. If you have an approved exemption, then you will have to be subjected to weekly testing. And again, this is only New Mexico employees. Now in New Jersey, Governor Murphy has issued Executive Order 252, which requires all employees in our industry that are providing care to people with disabilities, either they get the vaccination or they're subjected to weekly testing. So Tracy Mendola recently sent out a communication on the process, and that's going into effect next week. So that's only direct support professionals, program managers, program specialists, your nursing and behavioral staff, any other title that is responsible for directly providing care. For all other states, we're going to continue to monitor the state and local communications. We'll monitor everything that's coming out. And if there are any changes, then we will let you know. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your executive director or certainly Lisa Smith, our vice president of quality. So moving on, PTO payouts. So we sent out a communication at the end of May that all employees that provide direct care, we were offering a payout of PTO. Now for all staff, we were increasing the carryover of PTO to 40 hours. Typically it's 24 hours. But then for those staff who are providing direct care and unable to take their PTO during the last fiscal year, we're paying out those hours above and beyond 40 up to 80. So those will be paid out on September 10th. Executive directors have been provided a list of all the employees that had excess PTO and are asked to approve those lists by close of business today. All approved lists, all the employees on those approved lists rather, will get that payment on September 10th. Employee referral bonuses. Robert mentioned this earlier. I encourage you all to please not only like, but share our posts on social media. We have all kinds of posts on Facebook that you can share. We did a number of employee spotlights on Facebook, so you can share any of those videos to encourage participation, or by all means, you can create your own. But all of our regions have either an employee referral bonus in effect, we have sign-on bonuses in effect. In many regions, we have both. So just a couple seconds that it takes to share a video could put literally hundreds of dollars in your pocket. So please take advantage. If you need more information, you can contact your executive director or your CPS for more details on the promotions that are currently running in your region. Moving on to employee performance reviews. So we are just closing out our performance review cycle. So all employees that were hired prior to January 1st of this year are required to receive a performance review from their manager. So if you have not yet had that performance discussion with your manager, please reach out to him or her as soon as possible. We are going to be reviewing budgets during the month of September and plan to issue merit increases during the month of October. However, it is it's a requirement that the rating be entered in UltiPro. Only those employees with ratings will be considered for a merit increase. Now the employee survey. This year, we had the greatest participation in our employee survey. We had 1,937 staff participate from our national organization. We've had a number of highlights, one of which is strength. One of our strengths is diversity and inclusion, where employees cited that they feel that they are respected and appreciated regardless of race, gender, age, disability, as well as the position that they hold. Another highlight was under training and development for us. 70% of respondents agree that they have the opportunity to learn new things. And as a point of information, if you are not following it already, I implore you to go onto SharePoint, onto our training site. We have a ton of recorded training sessions on both soft skills, on leadership skills, on programmatic trainings. These are led by Diana South, Michelle Horvath, and then we have a number of employees throughout the organization that we feel are subject matter experts that we have all these sessions recorded that you can utilize. So please, please take advantage. Another highlight was 76% of the staff understand how their efforts contribute to the mission of Community Options. One area of opportunity is communication and being kept informed of what's going on in the organization, which is the primary reason why we are having these town halls. So please, I encourage you to share with your colleagues that we have these town halls. All of these sessions are recorded and they're available on our YouTube channel along with a variety of other updates. So please take advantage. Now, regional results were also shared with each executive director, and each ED is required to create an action plan based on their region specific feedback. So if you don't have any updates or haven't heard lately what initiatives are new to your region, please follow up with your executive director. Moving on to the top 25 program. So during the last town hall meeting, Robert mentioned a bonus for the top 25% of our DSP population. The first payment was made in June, and we are on track to make the next and final payment on 9/25. So EDs will be provided a list of employees who participated in the last round, and they'll have to review those. They'll get them by the end of the week, but we are on target for 9/25. Now, for those who were not selected for the top 25 program, or they were not eligible for the top 25 program, we still have the Intrepid Awards in effect. So if there's a coworker, a direct report, a colleague that you see going above and beyond the call of duty, please reach out to your executive director and let them know of their efforts. We've remained committed to recognizing the dedication of our employees. So I encourage you to nominate them for an Intrepid Award. So that concludes my updates. Thank you again to all of the staff for your commitment and dedication to improving the lives of people with disabilities.